Hi Cancer, welcome to your end of June 2021 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. So I'm just going to do the cards. My ears have been stuffed up for a while, so I'm a little bit discombobulated. I don't know if I'm talking too softly or loudly, but I have to get back in the saddle again. It's funny because you're the second sign that I've done, and in both cases, I said I'm not going to talk about the full moon in Capricorn that's coming up because I just want to focus on the tarot. And in both cases, I have cards here that kind of talk about relationship issues, and depending on your degree of Cancer, this could fall in your 7th house of committed partnership, because there is a full moon on the 24th of June at 3 degrees of Capricorn. So early degree Cancers, this will fall in your 7th house. The rest of you, this will be like a 6th house type of situation. And if it is in your 6th house, and because of the recent what do you call it, Mercury retrograde, you could be like going back to a company that you were maybe you were even disgusted with some of their practices or policies, but you kind of had a change of heart. I'm going to bring up both of these cards. This is the card that is crossing you, 9 of Swords. This is a card of anxiety. Now, sometimes anxiety can help us in the sense that it kind of guides us to, what we need to be aware of. But sometimes it's just like the person reacting or overreacting, and they may be, doing things very rashly or in their emotions. And you are a water sign, so that could easily be, how you're approaching this. And, an example would be you leave your job because you don't like certain situation that's going on, and then you start to second guess yourself, have doubts, have fear, and you're willing to go back, or even a relationship. So both of these areas. The 2 of Cups, this is the center or heart of the matter. This is a card of reuniting with someone. And during Mercury retrograde, that's another thing that you may hear from somebody from your past. And so this can indicate that you and another person are getting back together. There might be forgiveness. You might be forgiving them for something that they've done. Forgiveness is awesome, but don't forget and completely gloss over it if it was something, egregious, that maybe there's no real sense that anything has fundamentally changed. You just are wanting to get back in that situation. So you have to look at it from that perspective too. This can be a situation where you and this person are making a commitment. So if you're somebody who's been kind of a little bit like hanging back and not necessarily being willing to give of yourself fully, or which doesn't sound like a lot of cancers. Usually you're the one that is trying to get the other person. So perhaps the other person is finally willing to make a commitment. In the past position, we have the Hierophant. So I could see for some cancers that you want to put a ring on it. In other words, this is a card of tradition and maybe religious, I was going to say indoctrination, but that sounds bad, doesn't it? Like I'm putting it down. I mean like the beliefs of a particular religion, and if you're living with your partner or having, you know, hubba hubba time, and you're not, maybe you feel guilty about it, or you feel like, no, I've got to make sure that we are, I'm not going to give the milk away for free. I wonder if anybody says that in 2021. But yeah, I mean, but you know, the truth is that I know that that's kind of sort of cringe to say something like that. It sounds kind of, I don't know, maybe it sounds sexist if it's a woman, but in a way it's kind of true if you think about it, because if you are a woman dealing with a man and everything is you know, is game on, you know, you're willing to do anything, you can't expect somebody like that to necessarily commit, because they really have no reason to. There's, if they are like, you know, somebody who's commitment phobic, and you know, I definitely am not somebody who thinks that a person should manipulate another person and use sex as some kind of a tool. That's not what I mean. I'm talking about the holistic angle of like, do your beliefs align with your actions? So if you are a monogamous person and you want that kind of ultimate monogamous relationship, if you think marriage is very if that's very important to you, and the Hierophant can reflect that, then your actions have to align with that, and you have to do things that are going to get you to that place. So that's the best way I can put it. What else could this be? I think, you know, I think that's pretty much it. You know, the Hierophant connects with the sign of Taurus, so it might be reuniting with the Taurus or forgiving somebody in the sign of Taurus. The higher message is the Knight of Cups, and this is the offer of love. So if you have met someone who has not been very sensitive to you, or given you that kind of, you know, caring treatment that you tend to really thrive in a relationship with, you might be feeling a sense of not being valued. So the Knight of Cups is really about the knight in shining armor. And I know that's kind of a fantasy, but I really believe that a person who is coming from a sincere place is going to show you that kind of consideration. So perhaps that is what you had, and maybe you took it for granted for some reason. And you realize that you really lost a lot because you chose a different path. So I can't say exactly why you would choose a different path, but, you know, those kinds of things. So it's kind of like reiterating that, you know, what is really important to you. Also, this is, to me, a card of somebody who is a poetic soul, an artistic soul, and maybe if you share those passions, that will be something that you can bond over. What crosses you is the Nine of Swords. This is a card of anxiety, trying to break free maybe from something that keeps you up late at night. I think that with Cancer, part of this may be the activity in the 12th house, if I look at it astrologically, because that is Pisces house. You have Gemini in your 12th house. The North Node is there. We just had a solar eclipse there. That may have brought out some anxieties that were present within you. And one of those anxieties, strangely enough, may be your own ability to commit to another person. Even if you come across as somebody who wants that more than anything, I still think there can be, for some of you, trust issues, especially if you have Scorpio, a moon in Scorpio, Scorpio rising. If you have inner planets in what was I going to say? Was it inner planets in Gemini, you may be much more free spirited. If you have Mars in Aries as well, that you may have your own, or like, you know, moon in Sagittarius, rising sign in Sag or Gemini, something like that, Aquarius. You may have your own side to yourself that is very free-spirited, and especially with because I've had clients like this too, where their sun, it can go both ways, but I think especially if your sun is in water and you have a moon sign in air, there can be a real difference in how you express emotions and receive emotions versus what your ultimate goals are with relationships. And so how it can play out is that you're hot and cold, and so sometimes you really seem like you want to get together, like the Two of Cups, and then you close down. And the Nine of Swords, that anxiety can set in, because it's funny too, because the Nine Swords represent air signs. So that's why I say specifically that part of some Cancers, if the moon, which is your ruler, is in an air sign, you might have like this completely different reaction, sometimes emotionally. With Aquarius, it can even be very jolting to the other party, because they may feel like this person is completely hot and cold. You know, they seem like they just want to commit, and then they pull back, or they just shut down. So where does that come from? It will often be traced to the mother and how she nurtured you. And if you did not have that bonding, it can be, you know, severe trust issues, but also just taking after that type of emotional response and kind of imitating it. What is coming in is a Judgment card. And so literally, I mean, some people may be waiting for a divorce so that they can get on with their life. But in terms of like actual judgment, I think it's also, this is a card of rebirth. So here you are. As I record this, it's the day before the summer solstice, and so the sun is going into your sign. You're having your solar return. Happy birthday to those of you who are born at the end of June, and the ones born in July, but you know, we're dealing with this right now. And just this sense of you know, having a new solar cycle, that's always fun. That's always like enlivening and rejuvenating. And but the point is that you can create new a new reality for yourself by what you choose in this upcoming cycle, solar cycle. So the Phoenix rising from the ashes could be the Judgment card. Just something about rebirth, renewal, and the outcome. Four of Pentacles. This is a good money card about maintaining your financial security. This can be like especially important if you are getting, if that Judgment card is about some kind of a legal judgment that has financial implications. So a divorce obviously would be an example. But even like some kind of an inheritance issue, the Two of Cups can be that perhaps you reconciled with someone right before they pass. So I don't know if that is true for any of you, but I just wanted to point that out as well. This could be like a family member. The Hierophant might have been a situation where if you went back to church or you got involved in spiritual pursuits, you started to soften, you started to forgive someone, and, before they passed, to try to kind of, what do you call it, have closure, but there's another term, I can't think of it, just end well, end on a good note. And the Knight of Cups can be an offer. So the problem is that you may not feel that offer. It depends on if you feel that offer is in good faith. And with the Nine of Swords, that may not be the case. So the Judgment card is in the upright position. The Four of Pentacles is also in the upright position. It sounds like you're going to have a good outcome in your favor if there's some money situation that you're waiting to hear about. But anyway, I hope that this resonated, Cancer. If you'd like a private reading, I'm primarily an astrologer. I do tarot readings because that's, it's just some other tricks of the trade or tools of the trade. And they have always been popular, tarot readings on YouTube. They give me something to do that's visual. But I do both of those in personal readings. My website is Rain and Moon Astrology. The link is below to the different types of readings I offer. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.